Hi all, a bit freaked out, so I'll go right into it. One Wednesday night in November around 10:30, I heard a knock on my front door. I was upstairs at the time and I wasn't entirely sure I'd actually heard it, as I don't get too many visitors at that time, especially in a weekday. I live on a fairly busy street, but it usually goes quiet around 7:30 p.m. and very few people other than neighbors come and go after that. Anyway, I decided it wasn't likely and that I'd imagined it, and I went downstairs, made a cup of coffee, and forgot about it. For some reason it popped back into my head and I decided to check the doorbell app to see if my doorbell had caught anything. Not really expecting much, so it took me by surprise when I saw a stranger in yellow standing in front of my door just about a half an hour ago. I watched the video. It captures the few steps he takes before he stood directly in front of my house. He looks up at my bedroom, then takes a step back into the road. My front door opens directly onto the footpath, and then there's a road after that. Now, I can't tell if he takes the step back in order to see my bedroom better, or if it's because the car had just turned onto my road, and he wanted to position himself between two parked cars and make it more difficult for anyone to see him. Whatever it was, he definitely seemed to be aware of the car. When the car was out of sight, he stepped forward and knocked on my door. People do this a lot despite me having a doorbell, and the moment he knocks, he starts to act even weirder. He rubs his head, he's looking left to right, back up at my window, then left to right, back up at my window again. He sighs, and as though he's exasperated, and then something to the right catches his eye. He very swiftly power walks off into the opposite direction that he came from. Moments later, I hear my neighbor's front door open, and then I realize that this strange man has seen the neighbor walking toward his door through the privacy glass and decided he didn't want the confrontation. I lived in a terrace house, and it's easy for neighbors to get confused by whose door is being knocked on. I call for my partner to watch the video, and he also has never seen this man before, but agrees that he looks really dodgy. I send the video to two of my brothers who also agree he looks shifty as hell, and advise me to call the police if he comes back, and then to call them right away. Now, we live in a high crime area. We've seen all our share of drama and trauma. We're all detecting something off about this man. It's not just a case of paranoia. Anyway, I decided to check previous captures by my doorbell and see this guy walk past my house 4 nights in a row. Just walk right past and that's it. The last and 5th time he's caught was the incident I described. He's never seen again. So last night about 11 p.m., I am back in my yard, emptying the indoor recycling bin to the outdoor one, when I suddenly get an odd sensation. I look to my left to see what looks like a shape of a man standing at the far end of my alleyway. Some English terraced houses. 2 houses are sharing a long alley, which is sandwiched between them, sort of built into the brickwork. They're really dark, even in the daylight. Most people agree, quite scary. Mine and my neighbor's back gardens can be accessed through our alley, and it leads right out onto the street. Now my alley has a large gate, and I try to keep it locked at all times, but I've noticed someone had only put the latch on and not locking it with the key. Anyway, back to the shape. I don't have the best eyesight, so for the moment, I think my mind is playing tricks on me. It was like there was a vague man shape that was darker than the surrounding dark, and so I'm trying to look and convince myself that my mind is playing tricks on me, when suddenly my heart is in my fucking throat because I hear frantic footsteps coming from the direction of the shape, and I suddenly lose sight of my head, where I thought my head was. Like suddenly I ducked down or something. I literally flew into my house and locked the door. I stand in my kitchen, looking out the window, not knowing what to expect. when I realized my partner is in a shed doing woodwork. So I text him, someone is in the alley, and I stay put. He takes from what I said to him, and he takes from that, run into the garden with a welding hammer. So that's what he did. This fucking creep would have had plenty of time to realize what was going on, as my garden is long. So he took off. My partner confirmed that the gate had been messed with and opened. I'm just wondering if the two things are linked and what everyone else's thoughts are. I have the video, but I live right across the street from a small business with its name in huge letters. So for privacy reasons, I'd rather not upload it. Edit 1. I sent the videos to mods. It turns out you can't really see the text as well as I thought you could. Edit 2. Here's the link to the video.